No, it's like I said, you're putting in a good signal here. So, and at least anyway, well, I guess we have really good condition.
Roger. Now, what is your location there? You're on which side of Cincinnati?
I'm in Western Hills. I'm on Muddy Creek Road. I live at kind of a home for the blind and stuff like that. And that's another long story.
Oh, roger that. Well, gosh, you got into a hobby that is even challenging for a sighted person. You know, my admiration is for you, sir. You have a hobby that is. Do you find it difficult to function being blind?
It just sometimes being blind just makes things a little more difficult or makes things more challenging when it gets something done or something like that. It just sometimes can be just more inconvenient. Like I don't mess with. I'm like at the next meeting. Next meeting they're going to have bring your own project. Well, I'm not working on any projects because I've got motor skill problems and I got motor skill problems too. So, but no, because I'm not working on. That's our next club meeting about in November. This month we talked about scanners and stuff, scanners that are out there, and now the world of scanning radio is totally different nowadays. So anyway, this is KA2 Kilo Alpha 2, United Yankee Bravo for ID.
Roger, Roger, Joe. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor in Qso with Joe. And could you come back with your call sign again slowly, phonetically?
Sure. This is Kilo Alpha 2, United Yankee Bravo. I got my call in New York a long time ago, May 8th, 1984, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm originally from New York, and I never changed it. I got this call May 8th of 1984, and no, I never wanted to change it. So, eventually I got up to General, and I just kept the call the way it is. And now they don't have advanced anymore. Now you just go right up to extra if you want to. I'm not an extra, though, so I'm just a general. Oh, well. Anyway, back to you, Jim.
Roger, Roger, Joe. Now, do you work HF, or do you primarily use UHF, VHF?
No, I just have this radio here, that's it. Where I'm living, it's kind of a big building and stuff like that. And I don't know if they'd ever let me put up an outside antenna, or if they ever pass PRB2, they'll have to accommodate me in some way, that kind of deal. But I bought this radio, like I said, this Wolfgang from another blind ham radio operator, a lady up here. I forget her call, but her name is Kitty. So I bought this radio from her about 4 years ago. I bought it used, and I like it. It's a good radio. So back to you.
Roger, sounds really good. Modulation is just perfect, and the audio quality EQ-wise is right on top. Really sounds good. A lot of them sound kind of mid-rangey, and some of them sound bassy, but that one sounds just perfect, man. That's a really good radio.
It's a good radio. In case we don't meet on the air sometime, hey, why don't I, if you want me to, well, let's see, sometime I'll give you my phone number and stuff if you want.
Roger, another question I had was, now when you took your test, how does that work if a person is blind?
Oh, just I had a volunteer examiner. He just read everything to me, and I answered him, and he wrote them down. I was a member at that time, the Limark Long Island Mobile Amateur Association, which stands for Limark in Long Island, New York. So that's how I got my license. And my technician class, I went to another club in Jersey, and this guy named Dennis, I forget the name of the club, but it was a 220 repeater club, which I don't think exists anymore. And I went up to technician, then eventually I went up to general, and that's what happened here. So anyway, but that's the way I've been ever since. Now, yeah, I've been on the low bands. Let me just yeah, I went on the low bands, and I can go into a lot of things with you, but so then anyway, so then I lived in someone, so I moved down to Louisville myself. I used to live in Louisville, and I moved out in 2010, moved up here to Cincinnati because of a girl, a nice girl, lady, who wouldn't marry me. So now I have another girlfriend, and I think at some point we're going to end up getting married anyway. So, and my girlfriend's name is Penny. So, anyway, and she's blind also. So that's how that goes. Anyway. Back to you, Jim. Kilo Alpha 2, United Yankee Bravo.
Roger, Joe. Well, if you want to, you can, come on back to Louisville, man. We'd love to have you there. And you don't have to stay up in Cincinnati, Come on home, Roger.
Well, I moved down there to Louisville with my dad in 1995, and I've been back to Louisville a couple of months ago, and about 6 months ago. It was over the summer in June or July, was something like that. I was visiting a couple. He's a ham radio operator. I don't want to identify who he is on the air right now. Stuff. That's why, if you want, I'll give you my phone number if you want sometime and stuff. Well, you can call me back and I'll give you sometime. I'll give you my phone number and you can just give me a landline sometime.
Roger. Yeah, we mainly do the QSOs on the radio. That's kind of like a you were there thing, We have about 82 QSOs so far. We only started this probably about 8 months ago. This is a segment to my larger YouTube page, which is called Jim Fergusson's Radio Story, where we have 550 segments about 50 years of commercial broadcasting, where we celebrate that on that YouTube page. It's called Jim Fergusson's Radio Story, and our Qso-Vlog is, like I say, a new segment that goes into that. So if you happen to go to YouTube and do a call letter search of Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, you'll come up with all my Qso-Vlogs, and there's one that has all 82 in a list. And if you go into that one, I'll probably be posting this audio in that area right at the top. It'll be right below Art Bell when you go to the call letter search KC9VKV on YouTube, Roger.
Yeah, QSL, yeah. Well, I used to be a member, not anymore, but I used to be a member of the Arts Club for a while. And when I first moved down, I was friends. I don't know what he's doing nowadays. A friend of mine named Mike Craycroft, his call was his call was KE4, his call was KE4KOP, KE4KOP. I wonder I hope he's even still alive. Yeah, we became really good friends, and then I became a member of the Bars Club over in Bullitt County. I was a member of that club for a while, so I've been on the Arts Club machine and also the Bars machine. And when I was in Louisville 6 months ago, back in July, I didn't bring my, next time I go down, I'm going to Louisville, I'm going to bring this HT with me. So and I've got 13 repeaters, and first, I have to have somebody put them in for me. I couldn't put them in myself, so. Anyway, what can I tell you? Okay, back to you, Jim.
Roger, Joe, I know KOP. I do know KOP. I fondly refer to him as the double slide rule master. Roger?
There's a way you could, if there's a way you can get a message to him from me, and give him my call, and give him my I got to give you my phone numbers. What can I tell you? I don't care. We're not doing this, or I'm listed too, but like I said, but mine is Kilo Alpha 2, United Yankee Bravo. I wish you could send him an email and send him that I'm looking for him and stuff, and I want him to call me and stuff, because I don't think he has my numbers up here.
He does have your number, or doesn't?
No, I don't think he has my number. That's just it. I don't think he has it.
Do you, let's see, is your email address correct on QSL? What is that? I haven't been there so long. What is, gosh, QSL?
Email address. I don't deal with emails. I'm not, so I don't own a computer, but a friend of mine does. A friend of mine owns a computer, so I'll have him go to your website. We can look you up there, but on YouTube, because he goes on YouTube a lot. Although he doesn't deal with Facebook. He hates Facebook, so I don't blame him. So he's high partial, and he's a good friend of mine. His name is Jeremy and stuff. He's a good friend of mine. But hey, if we can work something out, and stuff, because I definitely want to get back in touch with Mike. Sometime I'll have to, and I don't know his phone numbers.
I think I don't know if your TOT's getting revenge on you or not. There, you were kind of cut out there a couple of times, but I was just curious, Joe. What is the hardest part, do you think, about amateur radio being blind? What is the hardest part of amateur radio?
Oh boy, let's see. I guess, well, since I'm not a computer person, I don't like the computer. It's getting these radios programmed nowadays. That's the only thing I can think of. I wouldn't even do it myself. A friend of mine at the club, the O'Kyan, this repeater belongs to the O'Kyan Ham Radio Club. To tune this, I bring it to a friend of mine at the club meeting, and he puts repeaters in there for me, so, and stuff. And like I said, this radio I bought from a blind lady, and she had this repeater in there, and I bought it about so. Oh well, back to you.
Right, so when you bought it used, it had some repeaters in there already?
It has local repeaters in here, and has a repeater in like northern Kentucky in here too. So, and like I said, I've got 13 repeaters that are in Louisville in here too. So, but when I came to Louisville last time, I didn't bring it with me. So next time I come down to Louisville to visit this couple, I'll bring it with me. My hand is getting...
Is that what's happening, Joe? Your hand's getting tired of hitting the talk button?
Yeah, it kind of is, but anyway, okay. So that's the story. But yeah, the hardest thing is really, I think, is programming these radios. That's the problem. I remember when back in the 80s and stuff, it was easy to do. I still have an 02AT. Used to have an 02AT many years ago. So, yeah, and I'm 63 years old, so, and there you go. So, that's my ham radio story.
Roger, Joe. Well, I've got you beat by about 10 years there. You're a youngster, Roger.
We'll see. I don't know. Well, maybe so. I feel like one. I don't feel old. I'll tell you that. I really don't feel old. So, well, I guess we can live life in idle lane, so what can I tell you?
Well, they say you're as old as you feel, and I think they're right there. I still climb towers and all kinds of stuff, so, I haven't broken any bones, and I guess that's the most difficult part about getting old, is that if you do have an accident and you do break something, it takes forever for it to cure or heal, and that's the difference between youth and older folks. It just takes longer to heal, Roger. So I try not to. I try to be very careful, or as careful as I can. I was up tuning a dipole yesterday, and after it had rained, and while it was raining, actually, not hard, but and things were slippery and everything, but I just had to finish tuning my dipole, my 15-meter dipole, and I've come to a theory on that, and the theory is that on a dipole, As lowest SWR occurs when both sides of the dipole are balanced, and hopefully you're on frequency at the same time. So I say on the high side of the dipole, the one hooked to the middle part of the coax, the center conductor of the coax, that's my frequency, and I elongate or minimize that to get on frequency. And on the other side, I use that to go for minimum SWR. So they both interreact, but I'm always going for minimum SWR on the counterpoise side, and I'm trying to stay on frequency on the high side. So anyway, long story short, the end result was a 1.05 to 1. And not a 1.5 to 1, but a 1.05 to 1. So that's probably as close as you can get to 1 to 1, you know.
Repeater, timeout, cancel.
Oh, well, Joe, I did your thing. I TOT'd myself.
You did. Oh, well, what can I tell you? Yeah, we're doing, what can I tell you? But, oh, well, yeah, I don't know if he works for Toyota anymore, Mike, KE4KOP. I don't know if he works for Toyota anymore. But, yeah, he was last I, his wife's name was Gloria. And, of course, he had two boys, of course. So, but anyway, but no, these radios, like I said, Jim, programming, that's the hard part. To me, that's the hard part.
Roger, well, exactly. And I've got this guy out at, I don't know if you know where the 7th Street flea market is, but he is my chief programmer for my Bofang's, Roger.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, boy, yeah, they're not easy. I had 2 Bofangs at one time, and I didn't like them. So, because just to change frequency, you got to push all kinds of buttons and stuff like that, and I said, no. I like to just turn a knob, and that's it. Yeah, I do have low band gear. I only have one thing, a Kenwood, which is packed away. Kenwood TS440S. And got that back in the 80s and stuff, and that's the only low band rig I've ever owned in my life. So, and so, all right. But anyway, back to you. So.
Roger, Joe. Well, KOP, I think he has retired now. And he's always working on some kind of new invention. And like I say, I do call him the dual slide rule king, because he does answer questions with more provocative questions. And his background in military radar, it's hard to trip him up on all kinds of questions. You know, he usually not necessarily that he answers the question, but he usually does with 3 other questions, so you can't exactly pin him down. But a lot of times I hear him in his mobile transporting his kids to school or things like that, you know. So we do talk quite often, and I will definitely mention that Joe up in Cincinnati was asking about him, and he's familiar with your call sign, Roger.
As a matter of fact, why not? I don't care. I'm going to give you my phone. I want to give you my landline because it's listed anyway. What the heck? So if you have something to copy with, let me know.
Roger, Joe. Well, if you do it now, this will be in the post, and you're liable to have all kinds of people from all over the country giving you a call.
Okay. Well, then let's see. What do you want to do? Just end the interview right here and just shut it down? I'll give it to you.
We'll catch it here right at the end after I wrap up. I have really enjoyed the QSO, Joe, and I'm, like I say, I'm really amazed that you have the wherewithal to get into a hobby that a lot of visually capable people find extremely challenging. So you're doing a heck of a job, Joe.
Very much. Is KC9VKV.
Roger, Roger. So 3's that away, and we've enjoyed the QSO. And this is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, and we'll be clear.